Okay, these are my thoughts about Second Timothy 1, verses 8 through 14. I think really three things stick out to me about this scripture. First of all, it says that we're called to ministry by God's own purpose and grace. And this is really encouraging to me because it means that my life, my calling, is a gift from God for His purposes. Many times I feel like I've questioned my own fitness for ministry, feeling like I don't have the talents or the skills or sometimes even the spirituality to do ministry. But what I recognize in this scripture is Paul really trying to convince Timothy that ministry is from God and by God's grace. And this is a great relief to me that it's not something I'm doing or coming just from me, but it's really something that comes from God. I think a second thing that really sticks out to me is the connection of the apostolic ministry and suffering. Here in Brazil, there's a lot of prosperity theology being taught, where it says, hey, if you give God 10, if you give 10, then God's going to bless you with 100. If you give 100, God's going to bless you with 1,000 and maybe even a car. Many people have bumper stickers and things that says it's a present from God. And what I see here in Paul's words is really exactly the opposite. He was an apostle, a herald, a teacher, certainly a spiritual, sacrificial man. And what did it get him? Prison, chains, homelessness, shipwrecks, accusations. And not that suffering proves that we are doing God's ministry, but what I see here is just that suffering is a part of apostolic ministry. Suffering is a part of true ministry because you're trying to give your heart to people and help other people. So that, in a sense, encourages me. I think a third thing that I see here is that in spite of this shameful treatment and suffering, Paul was not ashamed. His confidence was solid, his confidence was in God, and he knows that God is guarding the deposit that he has put in God's hands. And so I hope that my confidence can be just as solid in God as Paul's was. So this scripture is very encouraging to me.